Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down. So this is a show that has already aired a while ago, and has been on my to-do list for a while. The main reason I missed it is because it dropped during Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan was really consuming a lot of my life, as was The Boys and a lot of other things going on at this time, and I was like, I want to be able to, record myself watching this show. But now so much time has passed, and I have so many other things that I'm doing, full records on. I was like, I can't do the full season. But I'll do the finale, because the finale feels like it's going to be big. I've done a very good job, in my opinion, of avoiding spoilers. I really don't have any clue. The only thing I had really heard about at all was the Jinn and the noir realm. Those two things I didn't find to be big spoilers kind of made sense for what I figured would be the kind of story they were going to go down. But outside of that, I haven't heard anything. And just watching this, I was like, this finale, there are things that I'm waiting personally on some answers on. And I feel like we're going to get some big things. And the show's been really, really phenomenal, so I wanted to give it one, at least, reaction watch, and figured the finale was the best way to go. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We are getting ready to take a watch and then talk, spoiler-filled, about Ms. Marvel, Episode 6 of Season 1, No Normal. And I gotta say, I'm going to put up a non-spoiler review of the entire series before I put this up. But since this is really the first time that I've sat down and talked about the show at all, and you're kind of going into the finale, I gotta say, I love this show. This show is fantastic. It's everything that I look for in media these days. I mean, you guys know, I love getting stories of people and perspectives that I could never possibly have. And watching the way that Ms. Marvel has leaned into the Pakistani culture, so much so as to dedicate an entire episode 5, to the partition and a very, very difficult, specific moment that defines, Pakistan and, these Muslim Indians that get pushed into Pakistan. And I love all of it. I mean, one of the things that comes naturally with the character is, Kamala is from Jersey City, but being a Jersey kid, I'm very familiar with that area, and getting to see, the Pakistani culture, specifically that exists in Jersey City. I believe it's the most densely populated Pakistani area in the state. When I looked, I want to say Google said it was around 4,500 or so people there. So that's it's cool to see that in my own backyard being put on display in the show, and just the tastes of the culture, whether it's moving around town or getting to spend time with the Khans, both inside their home. Kamala's brothers, I think it's Amir, his wedding, all of that stuff is just, I mean, what a rich, beautiful culture. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed is, not that Muslims are depicted in negative views all the time in media, but I feel like a lot of times when you're in these types of stories, right, you're seeing, these Muslim, Americans get married. Sometimes it's a mixture, and it can be very contentious. It's been wonderful to see such an open, accepting, loving Muslim family front and center the entire show. And it really is. I was talking to my mom, and I was like, some of my favorite sequences take place in the mosque, and specifically the leader there. He's so warm and welcoming, when you have people like Bruno, who's this little white kid who has, who's basically an orphan, the way that they accept him into that world, and the way that they embrace, their community that they're in Jersey City. That's something that I don't feel like we get depicted very often with Muslims, and it's been wonderful to see that culture and this group of people celebrated so wonderfully. And then when you're just talking about Kamala and what's going on with Ms. Marvel, I mean, you knew that they were going to change her origin story because they weren't going to go with the Terrigen Mist getting released at Avengers Con, because we've done the Terrigen Mist stuff in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and while Kevin Feige seems to ignore that stuff, I'm not, I don't even know like how he's gonna play with Daredevil. Like, could this be a different version of the same character just being played by the same guy? Supposedly the writer for She-Hulk said it's a very fun-loving Daredevil, which does not sound like the same guy from Netflix. So I don't know, but it's not shocking, that he would avoid the Terrigen and the Inhuman stuff with Kamala, and it's been really cool to see how they've tied, where she comes from and her story into how she gets her powers. It was one of those things when I heard they were going away from, like, the natural big fists and stretchy abilities that she has. I was like, man, that's kind of a bummer. But now seeing the show, it's one of those, like, we're going to get the Fantastic Four, so we're going to get a lot of stretchiness, when it comes to Reed Richards. And Kamala, being a fan of, Captain Marvel, getting some kind of an energy power actually kind of makes a lot of sense, when you're able to play with that stuff inside the MCU. I thought the adaptation, specifically the origin story stuff, was done wonderfully. I mean, to get Avengers Con in there and a lot of stuff. I'm not a big Miss Marvel fan, but I'm aware of her origin. I kind of dove into that stuff when the Avengers game came out. And getting to see kind of that adapted here, and just the characters they've been bringing in. It's like every time somebody pops up, I'm like, I don't know Miss Marvel that well. Let me pull it up. Oh yeah, okay, that's a comic book character. The Djinn, and the way that they're using, the clandestine, and the people from Noor. I like that. Like, that's completely original. But then you have characters that are connected to them that come from the comics. So I think it's been a really cool adaptation, and the show's been a lot of fun. Getting to watch, I said to my mom, I was like, I think you and my little sister, who's 17, should watch this, because I think Emmy Ray, would really appreciate, like, a 16-year-old superhero and seeing her become one. And Kamala, there are similarities between my sister and Kamala, where I was like, you guys should dive into this. And it's been a lot of fun to see kids front and center. And it's one of those things, we're seeing a lot of these younger Avengers pop up. And I've had a really good time with everybody that's in here. I mean, Kamala's family has been wonderful. When her dad showed up as the Hulk in the first episode, oh man, I almost cried. It was so beautiful. But like, just the way that they've handled the family stuff, and Kamala, just trying to find her own way, plus learning that she has superpowers. I've just enjoyed every single second of this show. And like I said, I'm gonna do a non-spoiler. I don't know why I talked for so long. That's how much I've enjoyed it, and I've really taken away a lot from this show. Specifically the last episode. When you go with that time jump and how they play that whole bit out. Oh my gosh, man. The end of episode 5 had me in tears, man. Rolling. It was so beautiful the way that they played it, being Kamala that got her grandmother back to her great-grandfather at the train station. And, like, kind of one of those, like, Back to the Future type moment things. And when she realized that, oh man, wonderful. But obviously we got to bring everything back to Jersey and wrap this thing up in a way where, the only people that we have left to deal with is Damage Control, and it's been kind of fun to see Damage Control in bits and pieces. The last time, we haven't seen a ton of them. They kind of get sprinkled in. This is the most we've kind of spent with them, and seeing the synopsis for the finale episode. Back in Jersey, Kamala fights to save her friends from the clutches of Damage Control. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped to see where we go, and I'm pumped to see how Kamala will get her official, uniform. All the pieces are starting to get there, right? Like, Bruno gave her the domino mask. Her chain broke into the lightning bolt, which was awesome because the chain comes from, what her name is in Arabic, which was beautiful touch. When that broke into the friggin' lightning bolt, I was like, oh my gosh. And then you got the vest that Waleed gave her. I'm going Waleed style with my hair, man. R.I.P. Love that guy so much, man. That whole bit in India, when they went into Pakistan, was just wonderful, man. Like, getting to watch, I really liked Waleed, Kareem, her Nani. Oh my gosh, like, everything there was great. But when Waleed went down, you knew it was coming. I was like, for the finale, I'm rocking my hair Waleed style, man. R.I.P. to that guy. But yeah, no, I'm really, really pumped to see how this thing wraps up. I'm gonna shut up because I'm talking for while. Maybe that'll be. Who knows? This is just gonna be all encompassing. Maybe we won't do it now. Spoiler! I've talked so much. Anyway, let's get the finale up. Let's not waste any more time. I am so excited to watch the finale to Miss Marvel. Like I said, I feel like the buzz was not high around this show while it was out, and when the finale came out, I really had to avoid social media. So I'm hoping there's some big, wonderful things coming, and I think we're gonna get that just from the power set, because Kamala's finally understanding, really how to control and use them, and that's one of the things I've really enjoyed with the show is that they've done a really good job in building Kamala up over the course of the 5 episodes, and I like that we've basically gotten almost 50 to 45 minutes every single episode. I need more of that, Marvel. So here we go. Time for the Miss Marvel finale, Season 1, Episode 6, No Normal. Let's go. And we're... Circle playing. Alright, here we go. There are certain scenes in fictional series that some viewers may find upsetting. Uh-oh. It's the first time we've had one of those.
Is this Nani's?
Oh, and yeah, I didn't say that, but in the adaptation, the concept of the bangle is so cool. But the fact that the power comes from inside of Kamala, I really love that. Like I said, I've really enjoyed how they've handled her getting the powers, being able to naturally use them, and now figuring out how to control that. Like I think they've done a really good... It's one of the tightest shows that they've had so far. It's in my top 3 right now. I tell you what, I'm glad that they were able to wrap up all of the family stuff around Kamala and her powers and the Jinn, and kind of wrap up all of that last episode. So I think hopefully we'll be able to focus even more in on Kamala and her becoming Miss Marvel by the end of this series, or at least the season. I hope there's another season. I think it'd be easy to do multiple seasons with Kamala. So it's been cool seeing everybody get their powers, or show up in like the ways they are in the comics. Which is one of the other things too. The credits at the end of the episodes, I love that they use the actual comic art around the characters. It's really, really wonderful stuff.
Damage control could be at Penn Station, so we're gonna transfer at the next stop and head upstate, okay?
It's fun seeing Kamran get his like superpowers. Another thing that ties in well to Kamala having her power set be the way that it is. It's one of those things I kind of dig. I believe his character has more of a blue, whitish glow to him, so seeing his light energy be like that makes all of it makes a lot of sense when you package it this way. And I think Marvel's done a very good job adapting Kamala for this series and for the MCU. And that includes the entire world, all the characters that are in here. Oh god, this show has just been so fun. I love every time Marvel puts something out that makes you go and dive back into the comic stuff. Like, it's my favorite thing about the MCU is comics and things that I didn't dive into a lot or read at all when I was a kid, I'm diving into now as an adult. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun to be a comic book kid, man. Again, I'm just so happy to see Marvel give another group wonderful representation on screen. I love Kamala's family. I love that they all know that she has superpowers now, or at least Ami does. She's going to tell everybody.
At VendraCon, yeah, no, okay.
Ami knows everything.
I am the light girl.
You're what?
Nightlight.
Oh my god! I had no idea!
Classic Khan gossip train. You tell Ummi, she tells Abu, and we over here because he always has his phone on speaker.
Are your powers limitless, or do you have to recharge?
Oh,
Actually,
also, I have been dying to ask you. On Eid, did you drop that kid on purpose, or was that like a game time
Amit.
decision?
Show's so good.
This is just so incredible. I mean, I, for one, am so proud of you. I mean, believe me, we are all in awe of you.
Oh, I love this.
I just want to be sure that you're being careful out there. I worry, Peter. I just worry too much.
Abu, I don't think you raised me to sit by and do nothing when I can help you.
And we trust her, right?
I'm so glad that her family knows, because her family is my favorite part of this. Oh, Nakia. I need that relationship fixed.
I'm so glad you called. We literally just got back from the
Come
airport.
on, stop. Have you heard from Bruno?
No, why?
I've been trying to get a hold of him because Circle Q exploded.
Man, this show it's so good.
Kamala Khan, you're not going anywhere.
Mommy.
Not dressed like that. Here.
Oh, Ami. I was hoping that Ami was gonna be the one that made her suit. Oh, I love this so much. I don't know if we have anybody who's gotten their suit from their
This feels
mom.
a bit more like you. Hmm?
That's so freaking awesome, man. I love that so much. That storyline and that relationship has been one of my favorite parts. I'm so glad it was repaired by the time we got here. And now we can just have so much fun with Miss Marvel. Look at her go! Come on, stop making me wait. Oh, she waited at the red light! That's awesome! Oh no.
Bruno, thank God you're okay. What happened?
I guess the mosque.
Long story, but our great train escape kind of got derailed, and now we need a place to hide from the cops.
Crazy, you can't hide a mosque.
Why? What houses of worship are supposed to offer sanctuary?
This is a mosque in America. When the coast is clear, you guys head to the high school and I'll call Kamal.
Why would we go to the high school?
Because it's the only place guaranteed to be empty on a Saturday.
Dude, I love Nakia. She's her like that's everybody in the show's so good. Like her, Bruno. I love Kamala's like little group.
I'm gonna need to see everybody's ID. That was...
Not our first rodeo, Miss Agent.
You're looking for a high-level threat. Presumably male, 16 to 25, Pakistani or Arab.
But you are describing practically everyone here.
This could take a while. Lucky for you, Rashid has brought his famous yummy yummy chocolate chip cookies.
The secret ingredient is nutmeg.
Please stop stalling.
Like my cookies. He's been one of my favorite characters in the show.
God is always right.
I don't have time for chronic quotes. Excuse me.
Actually, that was Abraham Lincoln.
I love this freaking man. Show's absolutely wonderful.
You can't go this way. It's...
Holy.
Pick it in.
He just said it was holy.
I'll open it.
Just, please don't hurt him. He's a really nice guy.
Who's in
What up?
there?
My mom would kill me if she found out I had a boyfriend and that it was... that one.
Do you have a body cam? I'd love to have this one.
Keep looking!
The fourth member of the group that we really haven't spent too much time, but every time he's popped up, I've enjoyed him.
Remember, just because someone treats you as their enemy doesn't give you the right to treat them as yours.
We need to go. Come on.
Wait. You need a disguise.
Yes, let's go. She looks so awesome.
What are you guys wearing?
Is that the power of the... Did she put the rift in Cameron?
I feel like I'm being crushed from the inside out.
They're the same type of ripple blasts from that rift thing that she closed.
Don't tell me you're in trouble again so soon.
Okay, please don't make a big deal out of this. I really need help.
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's Cameron, and
I know what you're gonna say. He's related to a clandestine, but
so am I. I really need to get him out of town.
I know someone who can get him out.
Of course he does. Love Kareem.
Thank you.
I like that she's got like international connects now.
I missed him. I'm sorry.
How do they know that they're there?
Damage control is here. I'm the one they want. You guys should leave now before you get hurt.
They already blew up my apartment. They invaded the mosque twice.
They tried to trick me into giving you up.
Where'd she come from? Out of left field.
We're with you.
Dude, her suit is so damn badass.
So what's the plan?
That feels like one of the best executed suits that they've done. I love the animated creative things that they put in around Kamala, like this stuff.
We'll keep him busy while you run out the back.
Yes. This makes it even better.
Mom sent me to watch out for you.
Sabrina's don't need chaperones.
Take it up with her.
Oh, I love it.
Amber and Zoe, you grab supplies. Bruno and I are on mad scientist duty.
A lot of smart similarities to Tom Holland's, like, first Spider-Man.
For that, we grab every
Group of
single
young
fire extinguisher in the
kids.
school.
Like, the comic elements they weave in, like, it's such a good vibe. I love the family friend team up element, like, so good. Isn't there a thing I hear right there to bash on the glass?
Any questions?
So we're gonna stop damage control with softballs?
No, we are going to stall damage control with softballs. The real plan is Zoe.
Look at her face. Look at me. It's me. I'm the plan. Am I the plan?
Evacuate now, Deaver. You hear me?
Just not gonna do that. Here goes. Go.
Do we have a green light?
Call in all additional units. Now.
Not just gonna ignore the direct order, but double down.
You know, Kamala saved my life at AdventureCon. I think Kamala should be able to tell the world when she's ready.
Like that. Good group. Even the girl you wouldn't expect.
Najma didn't make it.
Not Cousin Kamran, huh? What were you even doing, my sister?
Driving lessons.
Do you even like British Bake Off?
Promise me whatever you do not tell Carmen that.
He's got a lot of energy. I tell you, man, some of the energy that was coming out of him when he had that mini freak out looked like the energy that was pulsating out from Pathway to the Third Dimension. She did some kind of magic when she said his name. Wow. Just blowing doors in a high school. Oh, is that what I think that is? I forgot what he called it in the first episode. That's great. Oh, it's amazing. Also, the score. Oh, I forgot already. I looked up her name before. But the score and the music drops in this show have been phenomenal.
At Coles High School, where damage control is, me and my friends totally surrounded. 2 of them have superpowers. I know, but they're being targeted.
Laura Cartman.
These people are super scary, and they're just not backing
Huge
down. Please,
kudos.
you have to help us. To all my loyal followers, tag this message and share stories.
I love this. What can she do? She can bring everybody to the school. I like that they've got the decoys going. This is all.
Hey, you! Freeze!
Love it.
I'm Packy Robinson, I'm Pat Nicholson. My yacht is Packy on that.
All identical. I repeat, all identical.
In the mirror, whenever I see my face, I think what if I was fair skin, had less of the melanin.
Nice. Love this. Not getting too much ground on these guys, though. Uh-oh, what'd they get this time? High school science! Let's go! Love that. Oh, this is great. And I believe this episode, I'm not 100% buzzed, I'm pretty sure, as well as the first episode, was Adil and Bilal, the guys who did the last, oh, that's beautiful. The guys who did Bad Boys for Life and Batgirl. if they did this episode in the like, these guys are so good. That girl situation.
Hey, you guys gotta
sucks. Oh,
Go.
poor
Two
Bruno.
agents heading down this way. I'll keep them busy.
Feel for Bruno.
Hey! You guys, come dance with me. You know you like this move. Hey, guys.
Bruno.
Freeze! Hands up!
Holy jeez. Friggin' hit a high school student, 16 years old, in the face with a gun. That was great. But yeah, no, Adil and Bilal, I really like what these guys do.
It's working!
Oh no, they got stopped from behind.
Look, the attackers are as much a threat to me as those cops are out there. They've been fighting my family for decades.
Pretty sure those guys aren't cops.
I need the clandestines. I need my mother.
Is Kamran gonna break bad? They found out Mama's dead.
What happened to my mother?
Oh no! Ooh. Oh my god. I just saved that guy's life, probably.
What happened in Pakistan? Just tell me.
Nishma did exactly what she swore she was gonna do. Okay, she pierced the veil.
The Veil, that's what they're calling it.
She was trying to save our world.
My home.
I mean, technically, kid, he was born here.
My mother's dead. Isn't she?
I'm sorry.
Stop right there!
Oh boy. Jeez. These things have a lot more force than I thought they did. Oh, at this point, I'd let him get caught? Maybe?
We're trying to keep the peace here, ma'am.
Uh-oh. Public standoff.
Get on your knees. Now!
Come on, we need to get down.
What's this kid thinking?
Your knees!
Hasn't achieved the whole body yet. Well, this like a real gun. Oh, got a little stretch in her leg there. I need like a 3-story tall Miss Marvel before this ep's over. Oh no no no! Yo, is that the thing that they... the smaller version of what they were firing at Hulk? Some kind of sonic pulse? Holy crow! Glad everybody's face is the exact same. Sync with the characters, man. Oh no, Cameron. I can't tell this guy's gonna break good or bad, but like, right now... They're actually gonna do it again? Yo, what is wrong with this? This woman needs to be arrested. She's crazy.
And bacon.
Oh man, was that like a Waleed phrase that we didn't see? Oh. Yeah, see, you see the extension on the arms and legs. Love it. She looks phenomenal. I'm with you, Abu. Yes. Perfect response.
Hey guys, you okay?
Yes, Miss Nightlight.
No, not that Nate.
Dude, these guys with their full-on guns shooting at a 16-year-old girl, like... Love watching her take them down. They figured himself out quick. Had that coming, lady. Oh no, but all the people! Of course, Miss Marvel. What are we worried about? You knew she was gonna catch it. Makes her look like an even better hero. Oh, dude. They look. She looks phenomenal. Like I said, I was hesitant at first going that route rather than giving her just the stretchy ability, but it visually looks cool. Oh no, is he about to open the veil without knowing it? Feel. Or is he Nor? Or his power is just going crazy. It's almost Terraform-ish. Ooh, check that out. This is why I'm really digging what they've done with her. It expands what she's able to do. And visually, look at that.
What am I supposed to do now? How can I be normal?
There is no normal.
No normal.
Get to the harbor. I'll buy you time.
Give Conron little training with the red dagger. There it is. I like that for a season 2. I also like that, like, it wasn't punch the bad guy in the face fight, but we were still able to see Kamala be a hero, use her powers.
Go!
I love this. The whole community is gonna protect her. That's...
Are you okay? That was amazing.
Oh, it's so beautiful, and that's been built from episode 1. A community. Even the police. I love that. Right? And it's not just the Muslim community. It's the community of Jersey City. Like... Where's she going? Yeah, go on. Come and get me. And this woman's about to lose her job.
You went against my orders publicly, and then you attacked a bunch of kids using our name, and you know what that means? Yes, that means that you're relieved of your duty. A union's coming to fix your mess. Get out of there, now.
I've liked that guy from jump, even though Damage Control has been in a bad group. I'm glad that guy ended up being alright. At least so far. But I love this, man. Like, the idea of community and just the... Oh, it's beautiful.
We were part of history.
It's about Jersey City.
Here with today's news, everyone keeps asking me, Ruby, do you know who she is? Of course, if I knew who she was, I wouldn't tell you here.
She looks so familiar.
What'd she say? Najaf's heroes are the bastards.
It's like I am now a hot dog. Let's hope this hot dog is halal.
My heart was racing. My life flashing before my eyes.
I love that guy.
That's how it was. Thank you. This is your video. Yes, but as an ally, I want to use my platform to amplify your voice.
Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know where they still went, but you dropped me and broke my leg. Guess how was the beta test?
Beta test. I love Beta. Every time they call her Beta, I love that. You're a superhero, Kamala. Is Captain Marvel gonna show up? That would be dope. It's pretty cool, man.
Hey, Beta, what are you doing here?
For Dad.
Oh my god. You are now the great new superhero Call.
I'm still figuring it out.
We're all still figuring it out. But you saved people, Kamala.
Oh no, Bruno's gonna go to California.
And if you saved one life, well, you saved the world.
Green. This would be a fun spin-off, I'm telling you. Or just like a B storyline in season 2.
Your mother and I tried for years to have a second child. And then you came. You were just so perfect. That's what Kamal means in Arabic. But in Urdu, it's more like marvel.
Marvel.
Kamal means marvel.
I share the same name as Carol frickin' Danvers.
I don't know who that is. But you sure are, and always have been, our own little Miss Marvel.
Marvel and Dead gave her a superhero name.
No.
I love you.
You do. Absolute magic.
I love that. I love that so much. And you saw how protective they were of her. Ah! There it is. But like, to just be in awe of her once they knew. And just seeing her do her thing. Like, they just know that she's a hero. 1 week later. Oh man, we're gonna get to see a little more Miss Marvel in action before we're out of here?
Kamran left his coat.
I see that.
Dude, obviously I had to be snuck out of the country.
I mean, he told me I could have it. We really bonded in that.
I, for one, think that it looks much better on the streets of Jersey City without.
Oh.
Yes, I for two.
No, So I went back and looked at your genetic makeup again.
Bruno.
Is this it?
I think we might have had it wrong the first time around.
Okay.
Kamala, there's something different in your genes.
Show is hinting either mutant or inhuman,
like a mutation.
Oh, they dropped the X-Men theme! That's twice I have heard that in Marvelous. This is it. It's been phenomenal both times. I love that. They were kind of hinting at it in the first episode. Like, I was sitting here going, like, when they were talking about how it was coming from inside her, I was like, could that be mutant? And then when they took I guess that must have been not a real story. But when you saw the Jinn take the Bengal, they took it off of a blue arm, which made me think maybe they were hinting at the Terrigen and the Inhuman stuff, because that would have been Kree. Adil and Bilal did direct this one. Those guys, I feel so bad for them, man, because they're so freaking good. But seeing what Kevin Feige did, reaching out to Wish, I think it was Adil got married. But like reaching out right away like that, those guys don't have anything to worry about. If that Batgirl movie never sees the light of day, which at least right now it doesn't seem like it will, like, I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige's gonna take good care of these guys. I honestly would have said they probably would have gotten the Marvels had that not been announced when it was. Laura Cartman, music. So good, man. Like, I don't want to say, like, Ludwig, but like, I feel like of all the new composers they've brought in since Ludwig, I feel like she's had the biggest pop. And again, it stems from that blending of score and cultural music and sound and modern sound and stuff. Oh no, just more. Like, I really like the way the soundtrack and the score is layered in here. The sound design in general is really good. The visual effects were fantastic. I love the story that they told, man. Like, I love that it was about... Yes, here we go.
Does not sound like science homework.
Uh-oh. Whoa! What? Miss Marvel will return in the Marvels. Oh, now I am so excited for that movie. Are you telling me that Kamala can just flip-flop spots with Captain Marvel? And if she can, where did Kamala just end up? Like, did she just, Carol looked like she was in her like, I would say, like, her off day superhero clothes. So maybe she wasn't flying around up in space. But they did hint at the beginning of the series that she's been kind of MIA, right? Like, we haven't really seen much of her. She's out in space doing space things. So, like, did Kamala just, like, I have no idea. I can't wait for the Marvels. Oh man. What was I talking about? Laura Cartman. Yeah, the music, the soundtrack, the sound design was excellent. The visual effects, I really enjoy the visual effects. Like I said, I was, look, in all things Marvel, in Kevin Feige we trust, you know what I mean? But, like, it was one of those, especially with the Avengers game, like, coming out, and like, you know, Kamala being the first character you play with, really started to, like, get a little bit, like I said, into, like, some of her origin story stuff, and really enjoy her power set. So when I first heard that she wasn't gonna have the stretchy arm and legs and the big fists, I was like, oh man, like, that's kind of a bummer. And I didn't, you know, like I was saying at the start, it kind of threw me off, and was, you know, just another reason where when it came out during Obi-Wan and I was just so busy, I was like, you know what, I can put this one on pause for right now. I'm very, very disappointed in myself that I did that. I wish I would have been watching this in real time and posting weekly, because the show deserved weekly. But I gotta say, like, when you see it all come together and the way that they do it, I think the energy stuff makes a lot of sense. I think going that route, using the bangle, allowed them to just, you know, add even more cultural context to the character and really cement, you know, Miss Marvel as something unique and something that, yet again, another group of people now can look at a screen and go, man, that's awesome. And it's not just, you know, brown colored boys and girls, but, like I said to my mom, I think my little sister would really enjoy watching this and in some way kind of be like, I can see me, like, just a 16, 17-year-old girl being front and center. I love that stuff, and I love that, like, they incorporate the powers being connected to you know, a piece of cultural, you know, a cultural element, right? Like, I love that. And then, like I said, having it kind of be an energy-based power set kind of can almost, you know, have her connect to Captain Marvel even more, bringing in the Kamal aspect of Kamala, in Urdu meaning Marvel. Like, that's, oh man, that whole bit with her dad on the rooftop giving her superhero name, man, that was just a beautiful, wonderful moment. But, like, that's what I mean, like, you tweaked the character, but the ways in which you tweaked it, in my opinion, enhanced it. And then when you finally got to see her get to the full, right, like, we've been watching the powers, and like I said, it allows her to be more versatile, allows her to do more things, and seeing, like, the kind of build, and where most of it was like these little running footpads for her, finally getting to see her go and maintain the long arms with the big fists and the elongated legs, it looks spot on. And at that point, like, you've come around to the power set, and adapting the way you do makes her the first mutant. And you heard that. I wonder if we'll see Kamala play with the X-Men at all. You'd have to, right? You'd think you'd have to have her be involved in some way in that story if she is indeed the first mutant. But it was one of those things, like I was saying, I like, in that first episode when Bruno was figuring out that, like, yeah, the bangle, or maybe it was the second episode, the bangle was, you know, creating everything that happened, but the power was actually emanating from inside of her. That was the first moment where I was like, are they gonna go down the mutant path? Like, if we're not gonna do the Terrigen and the Inhuman stuff, are they gonna go down? Like I said, like that mutant path. And then when the Jinn showed up in episode, what was that, 3 or 4, and you saw Cameron's mom, and they were in that rubble. I guess that was a fake story, but when they went to pick the bangle up, it was attached to a blue arm, which immediately made me think Kree, which immediately made me think like all the Terrigen stuff that went on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And obviously the show didn't go that way, but it's a really cool twist where it's like, the thing I love the most about Kevin Feige, I say it all the time, he knows his comics, he knows the roots of these characters and these worlds and where they come from, and he always handles the storytelling with great care, especially when they're adapting specific things or moments. But he adapts them in ways that are just slightly different, where it's just a different universe than the comic books. And it allows us to see the things we love in a different light, right? It's one of these things where I've finally started The Sandman, and that is super, super faithful, although Gaiman certainly is adapting it in a slightly different way to kind of create, I think, a better overall storytelling process for a season of television, because the books kind of can jump around. But like that, I love how faithful that show is the first couple episodes in that I've watched thus far, and how he's going like after individual issues of comics from that run. But on the flip side, I love watching Marvel take something. I always say Civil War is the easiest one because it's very similar, but it's also very different. And taking it and keeping the essence of the stories and adapting it for the MCU story is just one of those things that I really love. And the twists and the tweaks and the adaptations here for Miss Marvel, I think, are wonderful. And they seemingly, right? Like, I don't know a ton, but like seemingly watching the characters that are here, all from her world, pretty much, that pop up outside of the Jinn. And then having that whole Noor spot. But I like the fact that that's the change, right? Like the part of her biological makeup that comes from being Noor and being a Jinn. Like, I like that is stuff that just kind of plays into all of the world that they've built, where it like enhances everything. It allows you to add different ripples and things that, again, have cultural context for the character in a way where when you see everything that's there, I really find it all enhancing for the character. And I love the way that Feige adapts things. And I mean, everybody that's involved in this one, I mean, really deserves big time kudos. And like I said, Adil and Bilal, directed the first and the last episode. They were executive producers, and you can feel their vibe. I think they definitely set the tone, and having the closing episode kind of really cap this thing where it feels very, very connected. But you allowed your other two directors, Mira Menon and Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy, to also have like a lot of fun and pull off stuff. But I really thought they did a great job. The writers here, Bisha Kayali, who led the writers' room, I really think that there's some wonderful stuff. I mean, everybody that was involved in it is a huge writer's room. As I'm looking here on IMDb, they all deserve kudos, man, because I really enjoyed the story. And like I said, this adaptation really, really works, man. And now I have a new superhero character that I really love. And you can't say enough good things about Iman Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan. I mean, she's gold, start to finish, man. And it's funny, like I've mentioned a couple times, I kind of find similar vibes between her and my sister. One of the things that I constantly kind of always see with my little sister, that I was kind of digging out with Kamala, is that she doesn't look like she's 16. She looks younger. It's crazy to me all the time when I look at my baby sister. She's 17 years old, and I still see a little kid. And I kind of get that vibe with Kamala, but you really see, her come into her own. And I thought Vellani just did a really, really nice job handling everything that she's asked to handle. And like I said, I think one of my favorite things is that you build all of her stuff, from her family to her Muslim community to her Jersey City community, and you see all of that come together at the end, man. When you saw that whole little sector of that Jersey City community just kind of surround Kamala, like, that was so awesome. And all of the actors, I mean, it'd take me days to go through all of the names. But I mean, really everybody that pops up in here. Matt Lintz, I thought, did an excellent job as Bruno. He's so likable. The character is put in a situation that's very, very familiar. But I thought both him and Vellani kept that relationship fresh, and that dynamic. While there are cliches to it, I never felt like it was cliche inside of the show, and I thought both of their performances really added to that. Yasmin Fletcher, who played Nakia, loved her. One of my favorite things in the show is Kamala's kind of core group, because you see how she's kind of picked on and outcasted to a degree, but I think it's very important, you know, and it's not true for every kid, but it is important, you know, to kind of send that message of, even when you are a kid who does get bullied sometimes, it doesn't mean that you can't find your pack or your group. So I love seeing Kamala, how she first enters the school at the beginning of the show, where you see her confidence come from when she's with her group, where she's allowed to be herself, and then when she becomes a superhero, that confidence flips to that same kind of walk down the hallway in the school. Like, that stuff really, really kicks. And Yasmin Fletcher, I just love the whole angle of her character, you know, running for board at the mosque, and how it's not like they really kind of did show the segmentation, right, and how the men and the women are kind of segregated. But I love the fact that the Sheik was never, he was never somebody that you were like, oh man, you're an SOB by pushing those things. And, you know, Nakia getting, a seat on the board really added a lot of fun elements to that group. And like I said, Laith Nakli, who played Sheik Abdullah, I mean, one of my favorite characters in the show. Every time he was on there, he made you feel warm and fuzzy inside. I would hope that's how a Sheik would make you feel. And he definitely carried that quality. So he was another big standout. You can't say enough good things about Zenobia Shroff, who plays Muniba, or Ami, Kamala's mom. Fantastic. And that relationship, I immediately texted my mother because I could see a lot of similarities in their relationship between her and my little sister. I was like, you and Emmy Ray really have to watch this. But when you add in Abu, who's also phenomenal here, Mohan Kapoor, who plays Yusuf, now I gotta text my dad and be like, you gotta watch Miss Marvel with Mom and Emmy Ray, because that dynamic between the three of them, it's so wonderful and so hard. And I just see a lot of similarities with my own family there. But like the two of them, I mean, both Kapoor and Shroff, they're just tremendous, and their moments with Kamala are so genuine. Like, they really do feel like a family. And I love the fact that the show makes all of these characters pop, right? Like, it's not just about Kamala, it's about her people and her community and all the other people that are in, you know, the mosque and in the Jersey City area. I love that, the whole vibe that you get from them. I thought that Risha, who plays Kamran, did a really nice job. I enjoyed him, and I'm telling you, I could see a little spin-off, man, with him and Kareem, Aramis Knight, who played Red Dagger. I see a fun little spin-off, man, with those two guys. I mean, just from a general chemistry standpoint and the type of charisma that those two guys have, that could be just a lot of fun, or it would be a really great B-plot in a second season of Miss Marvel. Like I said, very interested to see where we go with the Marvels, what that sets up possibly for maybe a second season for Miss Marvel. At this point, I hope we get it, because I really enjoyed the crap out of this show. Last but not least, Sagar Shaikh, who plays Amir. Loved him. As an older brother, I really could connect in ways with his relationship with Kamala, and having a sister that's in that age range, and I'm probably not too much older than Amir was pictured there. It felt like he was late 20s, early 30s, so not too far off. I can kind of just mesh with, like, even with that distance, you know, like when he came in early on in the season, it was just like, I'm gonna talk to Mom, or the first episode about talking to go to you know, the Avenger Con. Like, it was one of those where it was like, he just looked at, he's like, hey, I got you. Like, I could so vibe with that. And throughout the whole series, I thought their relationship and their back and forths were always very, very genuine and natural. And that's the thing I think I really like the most about this show, is that it just feels natural and it feels normal. And it's one of the things that Marvel continues to do when you talk about representation and you know, diversifying your casts and the type of stories that you're telling. Like, they do it so effortlessly, because really all, you know, diversification and representation in media is just storytelling, right? Like, just tell more than one story. And like I always say, I've seen the white male story a lot. It's kind of repetitive at times. And I don't need to see it anymore. And anytime that you could not only, you know, just give a piece of representation, but really celebrate the culture that, you know, is taking root in whatever piece of storytelling that you're doing. Like, that's the stuff that pops. It's why Black Panther is so impactful the first time you watch it, because you can feel that culture running through it. The same with Shang-Chi, and now with Miss Marvel. Like, it's just so natural, because guess what? That's what the world is, man. Like I said, Jersey City is a huge Pakistani, you know, population, and you know, a hub for this in, you know, particular culture. And right here, that's what makes America great, man. Right? Like, we're a melting pot, legitimately. There's so many different cultures and stories to be told, and the thing that Marvel does so well, and the thing that the comics in general, both Marvel and DC, you know, while they're certainly skewed a little white heavy, because that's how things were in the 40s, I think both do a good job of celebrating all of the different experiences and stories and cultures and types of people that we have here. And I love seeing that on display, like in these movies and TV shows, and seeing something that people always seem to be craving for when you get into like the big award shows, and oh man, you know, Oscars so white and stuff. Like, I love that it's my shit, you know what I mean? It's doing it so well. This, like I said, is in my top 3 of the Marvel shows, and what Disney Plus has done with you know, these Marvel shows. I just can't take Loki out of the one slot. I just love that show so much, and Hiddleston, and being a writer and a dialogue nerd. Like, I love a show with really, really strong dialogue and good writing, and that's what Loki is. WandaVision continues to just be one of the things that I can go back to, rewatch the most. It's one of the most interesting pieces of storytelling that I've seen in a long time. But I gotta go Miss Marvel in that 3-hole, man. This thing, like I said, the celebration of the Pakistani culture, and where Pakistan comes from, and what makes this group of, you know, Indian people different from the other areas, and baking that story and leaning hard into, you know, not just the wonderful and beautiful elements, but the really hard parts of that culture. It was just beautiful, the whole show. And like I said, it never felt forced or like it was trying to push anything down your throat. And again, just seeing a Muslim community in such a positive, uplifting, accepting vibe, that's not something I feel like we get a lot in media. And it was really wonderful to see here, because I have a feeling that's a very true to form story for a lot of people. And you know, a lot of the racism and you know, things that you see come from what you experience. And when a group of people, like people of the Muslim faith, are constantly looked at in negative lights, or even when they're not being depicted in negative lights, but being, you know, depicted as very combative kind of people in media, it's so wonderful to see this version of a story be told where you're like, I literally went to my mom, like, this show's making me want to just go down to Jersey City and walk around the Pakistani neighborhood and just take in that culture. Like, that's freaking awesome, man. And that's what makes this show, I think, super special from everything that Marvel's done so far on the Disney Plus front. It really is that thing that, like, has that cultural vibe that's so strong and so potent and so wonderful. And I love seeing that on display. And like I said, everybody that was involved here just absolutely crushed it, man. So if we want to get to see Maniacs up, I think I've done nothing but just gush about this show. It's an obvious 5 out of 5 season for me. I don't think that every episode was a 5, although most of them would have been damn close if I was doing them episode by episode. There are a lot of really strong, well-told, well-written, well-acted episodes. This is probably the most consistently strong, I think, across the board superhero thing that we've seen Marvel do on Disney Plus. I mean, every episode is just rock solid. And like I said, they actually let them be 45 to 50 minutes long. I mean, the first 2 episodes I think are 50 and 52. Now, granted, it's with credits, but you're talking about something that's into the 45-minute range easy, and episodes that are in the 40-minute range. The show took its time. It developed itself. It didn't rush through things. It told the story in a really, really clean way. And I mean, the pacing was just something that made you, watching it after it had been out already, just made me want to keep pushing play. I mean, I watched the entire season in a day, and I worked today. Take 8 hours of workout and fit in almost 5 hours of Miss Marvel. Knocked the whole thing out. I couldn't stop. It was so good. I mean, look at me, man. I didn't give a shout out during the review, but Waleed. I mean, the whole Red Dagger element and everything that was going on when they went to India and Kamala's Nani, but all that stuff was so great. I love this show so much, man. I went Waleed style with my hair. Shout out R.I.P. I'm sad that we won't see him again. But with all the stuff going on in the afterlife, maybe we will see Waleed again. Marvel seems to be wanting to maybe play with different realms and things, so keep your eyes peeled. Maybe Waleed's not gone. But yeah, for me, I mean, I think it's a clear-cut 5 out of 5. This is one of the special things in the Marvel catalog. So that's it. I'm going to shut up. You heard what I thought about the beginning of the season at the top. Mix a little bit of that in the back. Watch the finale. Gave you all my thoughts. You know everything I got to say about Miss Marvel about a month late. But hey, now you got it. And the question is, what are you thinking? Did you watch Miss Marvel as soon as it came out? Did you wait? I knew a bunch of people, a lot of my friends weren't watching it weekly, but did binge watch it, and it really is. It's a really well done binge show. Like, you just want to keep pushing play. So were you feeling that vibe? How did you watch this? How did you take it in? If you're a comic book nerd like myself, what'd you think about the adaptation? Did you like the comic book nods that were there? Like I said, I don't know a ton of them, but I was able to see some of them early on, and I think the development and how they built the characters that are there are a lot of wonderful nods. So if you were picking up on that stuff, or even more than what I saw, please let me know that. You can go spoiler crazy, because we talked and saw everything. If you're not a comic book nerd, how did this hit for you? What'd you think of the comic book elements? What'd you think of Miss Marvel? Did you enjoy what her power set was and how that played? What'd you guys in general think of leaning into the Pakistani culture and giving that piece of representation? What elements of that part of the story? Like I said, the community and the family is a really important part to Kamala's story the whole season, and then you see that all come together in the finale when the community, just completely embraces her. What elements were you picking up there? Did the show get you emotional at all? 5th and 6th episodes made me tear up. Really wonderful stuff. Anything, man, you got, good, bad, indifferent on Miss Marvel. Hopefully just mostly good, because it's a freaking phenomenal show. I want to hear it, and I want to hear it down below in that comment section, where I look forward to talking to all of you. you guys. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with C-Man anytime we're talking movies, TV, trailer, reactions. You want to be here as we, eventually approach the Marvels. One of those other things. Let me know what you think there. Are you excited for the Marvels? That little Captain Marvel drop right at the end of the last episode. Get you excited. There was a little element where I was like, ooh, this could be interesting to play with. So let me know what you thought there. But you want to be here as we approach that. Or She-Hulk getting ready to come out. I'm going to try to keep up weekly with She-Hulk. Get back on my 3 a.m. tip. I've had a couple weeks off there. So you want to be here for all that stuff. You just want to show a little love support you haven't yet. Well, hey, come join C-Maniac Nation. It's growing, and I love watching it grow. And you can help it grow more by jumping over there, man. Hitting that subscribe button. Hit that little bell if you want those alerts so you know when videos are coming. And until next time, for the C-Mans, Cinema, sit down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace. Oh, hey, what's going on? You must be sticking around because you're looking for more content featuring this guy. Well, guess what? You're in the right place. You can check out more videos right here and right here. And if you have and you want to come join that C-Maniac Nation, you can hit that subscribe right over there.